Man may not be on the top of his form, but he can still make himself useful.
Hey guys, quickly before we get into this video, I do want to let you know about the wonderful job my guy Kenny at Warrior Wraps does. He went ahead and did some customization on a Ferrari 488 GT3, and he did a custom on my F3 vehicle as well, the Dallara F3. Take a look, I think these are totally awesome. In addition to that, some people have asked where they can get these shirts. I'm going to include a link down below. Hey, if you want to get a shirt and support the show, they have them in multiple different colors. As of right now, I believe it's only in black and white. There is going to be gray colors and other colors that you may want. And these shirts, when you order them, they're not coming from me. They're coming straight from the manufacturer. So your order is made and shipped by them. So again, if you do like this and you do want to support the show and you think, hey, that guy is pretty cool, you can go ahead and look down below, and I've got that link for you as well. I look to have hats. I actually want to get one because I want to try one out. I think they look cool. But again, you don't have to. It's just another avenue in which, if you want to support the show in any small way, or you just want to go out there and say, hey, this shirt looks pretty cool, this guy has some viewpoints I agree with, other ones he's an idiot, by all means, I appreciate the support. So check out the video. Hope you enjoy F122, and here's my impression of how that all works. Alright, check out the video, have fun, bye. Yo, 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 welcome to the next channel. Don't know why I said yo, 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 but hey, it seemed like something different than hey guys. So, wanted to be a little hip there. I'm 40, so I don't know how hip I can be. My kids don't think I am. But anyway, so today, another episode here. We've got F1 2022. Apparently I had it last night. Super tired, went to sleep super early, so I didn't even race at all last night. But apparently I got it early on the 28th too, but it said the Champions Edition or whatever. But whatever, like, I don't have the Champions Edition, I just got the regular standard. And first impressions, it's not bad. It's not great. If you're playing iRacing and you're expecting something to be that good, or you're playing Assetto Corsa, it's not that. I'm going to tell you that right off the rip. After playing it a little bit, it's not that. It does take a little bit of getting used to. The dynamics are better than F122, but I think it's mainly down to the difference in cars, and you can see where they've tried to put forth more effort into making the car race more like it does in a sim, but still it's got more of an arcade feel, where obviously if you're playing iRacing or Assetto Corsa or R Factor or many of those other more true sim games, this is not that. Racing in iRacing, and again, force feedback aside, just racing in iRacing, vastly different. Definitely they try to add a little sim element to it, but it's not as much as I would like. I think they need to have maybe where you can tune it to more sim-like. Like if you want a more arcade feel because you're playing on a joystick, but for those people who are playing on PC or even on console that went out and spent, $2,000-$3,000 on the setup, and if you're playing on console, some people I've seen have DD1s and F1 wheels and expensive pedals and a rig, so you're spending hundreds if not thousands of dollars on this equipment, and you want to be able to race it as true to sim as you can, or have the ability to switch between the two. Maybe you play arcade mode when you got your friends over, or you let them jump in the rig because they're not as sim-like as you. Cool. But then you have those people like myself. If I come over, I want to feel as close to what it's like to race in an F1 car. And albeit, iRacing is not the greatest, but it is really fun to drive. You feel like you get some of those real life racing dynamics. F122, you get a little taste, but nothing like iRacing. But where I think iRacing misses out, and yes, that's pure racing, but there's the F1 experience with the announcing, with the new cars, with hearing Verstappen and Sainz and Leclerc and Hamilton and Russell, and being able to race against Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel, like other champions, being able to set up some of that is something that they're missing in iRacing. And if they really wanted to challenge, they can actually throw in more F1 elements, because they seem to be throwing in tracks and setting up a series that mimics the real life season, which they're giving you that element, obviously not with every track, but they have quite a few. Would I like to see some added to iRacing? Absolutely. But with that being said, F122 gives you those real life tracks with those modern updates. Like getting to race around Miami is pretty cool. Now granted, I am not the best at this game yet because I've literally only had a few hours with it. With that being said, on the Moza GS wheel and R9 base, really easy to set up. I mean, I selected a keyboard setup and I can navigate through all of the menus. No, I'm not going to buy anything. I can navigate through just like if I had a mouse and keyboard. I mean, all the buttons are mapped where I'd like them to be. So, you know, if I want to do career, do F1 life, I mean, I can scroll up and scroll down. But, you know, for the sake of this video, I mean, again, it works. And my first initial impression is it does everything that you'd want it to do when playing an F1 Codemasters game. Realizing again that it's set up for console and PC, but I feel like it's always been a console game. Like I can jump in on my PS5 controller and play and run really quick. Granted, I can't do all the manual things that I do with this, and it's not as immersive as this. But again, on a controller on the PS5, it's got the adaptive triggers. I can jump in and just race it, not worry about anything, and put some of the assists on to make my life easy. Trying this though, again, on the wheel, you can tell it's not really set up for a wheel setup period. Because yes, I can race with it, and what we'll do is we'll jump into a time trial, and we'll take a look. And of course, I'm going to jump in the Mercedes because I am a huge Lewis Hamilton fan. And let's try a track that obviously you get in iRacing, but let's actually see because they have all of the tracks here. And let's take a look at Monza. Now, as we load up here, what we're going to do is again see how it feels, because again, my initial impression, not bad, but just not great. And I guess if you're looking for that type of experience, by all means, jump in. And I'm going to spend more time racing it, but it's one of those games that to me are going to need iterative updates to make it a little bit better. It's going to need those things that add more elements of racing. Now granted, I do hope that Moza does add more compatibility. I think it works fine and it does everything I needed to do. I can turn. The setup at first took me a little bit longer than expected, but to be honest, I just mapped it to a keyboard, mapped all of my keys, and it worked fine. I mean, every button works, and compared to trying to get it to work with F121 to F122, this one seemed even better and easier to do. So again, let's just hop on track, and you know, again, having to get used to the braking and as well as the throttle input, vastly different. Like that's been the hardest thing for me to learn. And you'll probably see me make some mistakes on video, but I wanted to get kind of my first impressions with the game, with the wheelbase. Many of you I know out there are buying them because, again, they're a competitive fanatic, and I think this wheel is by far the better of all of the Fanatic Formula wheels. One, because it's 300 millimeters. Two, it's got the carbon fiber. Three, I've got the rotary encoders. I had the McLaren wheel, and after upgrading that just to get magnetic shifters, it cost me just about the same for that wheel that was plastic as opposed to forged carbon fiber front, plastic, but aluminum bracing inside. And again, I just have more options. I mean, Moza just literally said, let's put all the options that we can think that a person would want on a $500 wheel and give it to you. So let's jump on track and see. And again, buttons mapped fine, so let's see how it works. So let's wait and jump in. Now, again, like I was saying, I've only played this. Now, one of the things I will say, triple monitor support, it's okay. It could be better. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is vastly better than what it was in F122. It looks still a little stretched. Yeah, see? In iRacing, I know where to hit my braking points. And this, they seem somewhat the same braking points, but my Heusinkveld pedals require a different level of input than I'm used to. But I will say this, the cool thing about this is I'm racing in the 22 version of the car. Why they just unveiled it this season. Now, as much as I love iRacing, I'm going to have to wait for that car. I'm going to have to wait for the tracks to come on. I'm going to have to wait for access to all of this. And not to mention, again, if you've raced this during the season, you get all of the pageantry you would get from F1. And there's a spin. This throttle is far more sensitive in this game than it is in iRacing. I'm much better on the throttle in iRacing than the W12. Now, with that being said, I can't wait till this car is in iRacing and see how they stack up to one another, because it's hard to tell the handling compared to the W12 because two different games. But I am rather enjoying this. I mean, again, I'm in Lewis Hamilton's W13, just trying not to crash in the time trial at Monza. I mean, it is the temple of speed, and who wouldn't enjoy it? So as you can see, I mean, the game is not bad at all. I wish I could make the wheel not move, kind of how I do in iRacing. Again, same spot. But again, I don't have a problem with the game, and again, I went for more frames on my setup, so I'd run roughly about 120 frames per second with my settings. Now I'm running a 3080 Ti with a Ryzen 5 5600. At some point I will upgrade, but you know, my only goal at some point will be to upgrade to the new 6000 series CPUs and 4000 series GPUs, but that's going to be some time before I get there. But back to this. This is really fun. I'm not going to lie. It is a lot of fun to race around the track, take a quick look at all of the options I have. Again, it is cool to be able to see the buttons as I push a button on the steering wheel. Oh, Lewis pushes the button as well. And if you look, you can see the ghosts that I'm racing. Now, I have turned all assists off just because when I race in iRacing, I don't want any assists on. I'm gonna get as close to racing like I was racing in a real race car. And there's no traction control. I can adjust some things, but not everything. And I think with F1, where it really shines is allowing you to do your My Team and all those elements you won't ever get to run in iRacing, because they're giving you as much of the iRacing life as you could imagine. And I think that, to me, is what adds to Codemasters' value. They're saying, you know what, we may not have the best sim racing game on the market, but we will make sure that we give you as much of the F1 experience as we can. Let's see if I can be easy on throttle here. And I do like parts of the time trial where you're racing against other people, although it is really strict on the off tracks. You can watch a real F1 race and they're not that strict. Where here, you gotta be absolutely careful. But yes, for those of you who have the Moza R9 and GS wheel, or the CS wheel, or the RS wheel for that matter, this works perfectly fine. And in fact, once you tune it to your settings, let's do some spinning, it works rather nicely. I mean, I really do like it. I can change the camera on my button because, again, I have enough buttons to run everything. There's nothing I can't run. But let's jump into some other stuff and take a look at some of the other options, because, again, why not? We have plenty of time to look. So some of the options, like, I didn't map escape, which I probably should. That would probably make more sense to map it to a button here. But I mapped those things that I really cared about. I mapped those things that obviously make more sense to me. Let's go ahead and jump into a actual Grand Prix race in F122. So again, we could do the whole season, but we're not. We're going to do a custom race. And again, the good thing is I can actually move this stuff around. So let's go back. Let's take a look and let's see. We'll go back to Austria. It is one of my favorite tracks. As you can see, it says very easy too. So I do rather love it. Again, Mercedes is where I'm going. Lewis Hamilton is my favorite driver. Let's make sure, again, the good thing about this is you have that dynamic weather, but I don't really want this to do in rain. So we're going to start. And again, if you map your buttons, I know these aren't true analog sticks, although they move like analog sticks. They're more like D-pads.
The hills are alive with the sound of engine.
But to be honest, you get to use them just the way. So George Russell's on pole. Isn't that awesome? I mean, we would love to see that. But I'm going to go ahead and skip this. And again, this is the element that you get with Codemasters that you just don't get with iRacing or anything else. This is why you want to play the F1 games. Because,
well, it was a really
look at
impressive
this.
lap in qualifying to get pole position.
I mean,
are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick
absolutely
starters
awesome.
around them? One more thing to consider.
I mean, you got Lewis, you get to see his face, you get to see his helmet. I mean, Nicholas Latifi in 15th place. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him in 15th place outside of maybe some accidents behind or some car penalties. But yeah, like, look at this. I mean, I've got the cameraman, I've got my crew, we're all getting ready to start the race. If I wanted to do my car setup, I can get in there. but let's jump right into the race and see. I suck, so, but this is just to show you what it's like. Yep, just about right. That's actually Mick Schumacher in front of me. But again, I'm not here to show you how fast I am, because clearly that's not the case. But the goal is to show you that it works with the wheelbase. I mean, I get an all-new F1 2022 with all the new spec, all the new cars, all the real drivers. And I think when you think about the fact that, you know, I paid $60 for the game, I don't have to buy another update. I don't have to order another car. I don't have to wait to get all of the tracks. They're just here. Let's use that overtake.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
Oh. I gotta be honest, this is quite fun. Trying to be so easy on the throttle. The great thing about playing these games, though, is the more you play, the more comfortable you get with racing.
Okay, DRS is now available. Borderline there. We're lucky to have gotten away with it.
Absolutely lucky. Oh. Whew. Sketchy there.
To your teammate ahead is 2.5 seconds.
Been the nature of this season for Lewis. Gap to my teammate is always. Although the last race I was so excited
Our gap to the car in front is 2.0 seconds.
to see Lewis get on that podium and pull away. I feel like I'm getting comfortable just racing here. Now my goal with this, to be honest, see if I can get my buddy who hopefully watches this and will join me in the co-op season. We do the full race season on iRacing, and actually he is in the top 10 and killing it. So to my guy Baldemar, You are doing a great job.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Hopefully I can get you to join me. So we can race the likes of Verstappen and Perez, racing for Mercedes. I mean, how cool would that be? We can be co-op teammates. So yes, I'm talking to you. But guys, this is so much fun. I know I enjoy the racing in F1 and iRacing better, but that's Verstappen ahead of me. And yes, I know Verstappen actually gets on iRacing. One, he doesn't race F1 cars, or I rarely see it in the videos I've watched. And I get to race him on track. Look at that. I mean, come on.
Race over. Take care of the car on the
P6. Didn't finish on the podium. But man, that was a lot of fun. Totally a lot of fun. For those of you who are on the fence about buying it,
A fantastic team effort then.
again,
Secure victory.
if you go into this
Here are the
expecting
victory
it to
announced.
compete with
What do you
iRacing,
think it was today,
then
Ant?
you're going to be
Came to
sorely
the edge of the
mistaken.
competition.
If you go
I really
into
feel
it
the track
expecting
layout
to
combined with the track
have
temperatures we saw today
F1,
suited
all
their
the
car.
pageantry,
These cars come alive
all
when the
of,
tyres
I mean,
adjust
look
to
at
the right
that.
temperature.
I mean, you
and
don't
the
get
driver did
that.
a great job managing that as well.
Winning a
It just
race,
looks so comfortable
having
out
your
there.
teammates
It's like
cheering
anything. It
you
always
on,
looks so easy when it all just
racing
clicks.
against the likes of Ferrari and Red Bull and Alpine and Aston Martin. I mean, let's be
Red
honest.
Bull are
I
our
mean,
winners today
look at
after
that.
showcasing some incredible driving.
I mean,
There's been a
It'd be
huge
nice
push
if
from
when you
them
race in
lately to stay
iRacing,
competitive
you get
with
on
the
the
other
podium, you
teams.
get to see
And
a
they're
representation
certainly
of
proving
yourself.
themselves.
Which they let you create a character, but you don't get these elements. You don't get the trophy celebration. You don't get to see Sainz, Leclerc, and Perez up there, the Red Bull team. You don't get to see all those elements that you'd want to see. You don't get to spread wine everywhere and drink it and celebrate and have fun and watch the fans. Like, that's the stuff you get with F1 games that you don't get with iRacing. So yes, it's not the best racing that you're going to find on the planet.
Well, after an incredible
The
day of racing,
microtransactions
who
are
was
kind
your
of killing
driver
me
of the
with
day, Ant?
adding,
Leclerc showed
spending
exactly
more
how to
real-time
manage
money.
himself
I
out
don't
on
want
the
to
track
spend any more
today.
money.
He was almost flawless out there.
I want to play a
Incredible
game.
stuff.
Well,
And
what an end to
in
another
playing this
fantastic
game,
weekend of racing.
it
Thanks to everyone.
gives me the ability to get that F1 experience. I have F1 life. Again, all things that we'll delve deeper in as we move along. I mean, I've got to fit it all in with racing and iRacing because I do enjoy racing and iRacing. I do enjoy the GT series. I do enjoy the F3 series. I do enjoy the F1 series. But I've got to fit this in because after playing that little bit that you guys got to see, I really enjoy the elements of F1 that I just don't get with iRacing. And the fact that the Moza wheel with this base and F1 22 work more seamlessly than F1 2021. In 2021, I had to mess with the settings far more. But in F1 22, I don't. So cheers to that. Cheers to, again, getting that gameplay that I just wasn't getting with iRacing as far as the pageantry. Now, the online community, vastly better in iRacing. I think that's why I really love it, because I'm racing against real people. However, some of the time, depending on your rating, as I've gotten my rating up, I'm racing against guys that are 2-3 seconds faster because you're in a top split. And it sucks, because now I'm relegated to being in the middle of the pack, and I feel like I'm racing as AlphaTauri or Haas or whoever the case may be all the time. And there's no fun in always being middle of the pack. Yeah, every now and then there could be accidents and things that bump you up. But again, when I switch class in iRacing, now I'm in GT3 trying to do some races, and I'm with people that are far ranked higher than me. And yes, my ranking says I'm high, but not fast enough to compete. So in this, I can jump in, do a co-op season. I'm not worried about, racing against other people because I'm enjoying the pageantry of F1. I put the AI up higher so that I'm getting more competitive racing. And the AI seems much better at not trying to run you off the road. So I do enjoy that. So if I was to recommend, should you get this game, should you not? If you're going in with the caveat that it's not a true sim, then I say absolutely. People buy Forza in the millions. And if I had to pick between the two, I'm more of an F1 guy, so this works for me. I do own Forza as well, so I mean, you know, they got my money there as well. But F1 2022, Codemasters, good job. Could be better, but you gotta accommodate so much more people than just iRacing. iRacing's only on PC. You're not playing it on console. It's not adapted to be used for a controller or a keyboard and mouse. Where Codemasters, because they're on console, because they're on multiple consoles, different consoles, they're having to accommodate so many different people. Kind of like Fnatic in their gear, having to make sure that they're compatible with so many things. For me, I don't need all that compatibility. I just want to race, I just want to get on track. So what I would say, again with that caveat, if you don't need true, authentic, as close to sim racing as you can get, pick this up. It's worth the $60. It brings back tons of fun. I'm going to get you again, Baltimore. I'm going to get you on here to do some co-op racing at some point. Yes, let's kill the W12 in iRacing, but let's also at some point jump in here and do a co-op season. I think they're awesome. I think they're cool. I think the fact that you can race again as part of a team, upgrade your car, build a team together, and just go through that is totally cool. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go out and check out the game. If you got the opportunity to play it at somebody's house before you buy, cool. But I would tell you, as a person who loves racing and like many of you have spent hundreds if not thousands of dollars on gear, go ahead and give this a check out. And again, I use the Moza R9-GS. If you enjoy using Moza, again, I have a link down below. You can go ahead and click there. If nobody has used all of the $50 coupons, if you click on the link below and you enter into the code halfway point, I do have a few $50 coupons. I'm not sure if they've all been used. If they have, somebody please let me know in the comments. I'll reach out to Moza and see if I can get some more if you guys really love the gear. What that will do is save you $50 off of when you spend $50 or more. So, you know, we can all win in the end. I get a little extra to buy some more gear to review for you. You get a $50 savings that you can put on getting that dash if you get the Moza R9. So, I mean, it's kind of a win-win. You save $50, I get a little extra scratch. But hey, I'm not going to tell you that you have to. If you want to go use another coupon or go on another website or go to the website yourself, there are plenty of other places you can buy it. In fact, I have ordered gear from SimMotion to get my Heusinkveld sim pedals here in the US, and SimMotion is absolutely awesome. And nobody is paying me to say that. These are just people I have purchased from, whether it be Moza, I've bought from Fnatic, I have purchased from SimMotion, and all of it has been a really good experience outside of the Fnatic delays when I had the CSLDD. So again, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, subscribe, go ahead and turn those notifications on, and if you have any feedback you want to offer, by all means share it. Thanks again and have a great rest of your night. Bye.